So prior to 2019, when I was sporadically coming back to God, some months I would be praying, and then there would be times where I would feel so strongly like now is the time. Like the Lord is calling me, He is pursuing me, He is after me, He really, really is asking me to commit. But and during those times, um, I would want to commit. And even I would try to commit. But I would be thinking of all the things that were currently in my life and what my life looked like, whether it was the relationship I was in, the habits I had, smoking weed, drinking, having sex, all the things. And I would just be like, dang, there's so much I got to do to really follow him the way I feel like he's calling me to follow him. And so there were times where I called myself recommitting, and then I would just go back into the world and do what I was already doing and keep living how I was already living. And prior to me really for real committing myself back to God, and even in 2019 when when it really began of me really recommitting myself, that was still a year's process. It was still like 2 years until I actually committed myself to God after 2019. And so, and even then, it was still a stripping process. But prior to me really committing myself to God, in the times that I would sporadically come, it would be like, dang, what are people going to say about me? What are they going to think? Um, what about the friends that I have now? Like, I don't think that I will be able to hang out with them anymore. Um, and it was just this list of what I could not do anymore if I was really, really going to submit myself to God. And I realize now that all those times where I was feeling like I should commit, but I just, wait, but I just did not, it wasn't able to stick or to last. I was trying to transform in my own power. I was trying to check off the list of what it would mean to actually be a Christian and to live a life that's pleasing to God. It wasn't until God came and got me, once he allowed that breakup I went through, once he allowed the breakup to just completely like shatter me, right? And I found him in my pain. Okay? Once he allowed that to happen, and the journey began of me actually committing myself to Christ, I just came how I was. I didn't worry about how I was too broken, how I was confused, how I was lost, how I was doing things that were not of him, like drinking and partying and whatever else. I came, that's all I had was what I had. And he continued to accept me just how I was. And through the process, I've learned that I've learned that the transformation came from me just obeying. As I grew as I grew in Christ in relationship, and as I grew in beginning to read his word and just really paying attention to those nudges I would get. Like the nudge I start getting to go back to church. The nudge I start getting to start to try and read the Bible. The nudge that I start getting to just do things and just following it instead of overthinking it. And as I grew in relationship with Christ, as those nudges would come and I would lean into it, right? That's where the transformation came from. The transformation came from